Welcome, 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 my dear co-learners, on this beautiful morning of Tuesday, on the 65th day of a Life Transformation Series 4. Let's join our hands in gratitude and bow our heads in love for all the divinity that's around us, in us, that surrounds us, encompasses us and us in a truly holistic sense. Let's be thankful to all the angel guardians, all the masters, gurus, teachers whose teachings come to us in so many forms. Let's thank our ancestors, our parents, whose DNA we carry, because of whose blessings we are who we are today. To all the sanskars in the past life, beautiful values that we have come up with, which are helping us align, balance, and tune in these beautiful mornings for ourselves, for our inner growth, so that we can become a better version of ourselves on the everyday level. So every day when we look back at night, we know we have learned something more. Let's thank every possible teacher, which is in every cell of our being, for teaching us such beautiful values. Let's be connected to this light energy and feel this beautiful white light, bluish white light, entering our Sahasrara chakra, crown chakra, to the top of our head. Feel it entering your body, making way in your full brain, brightening it up. In your third eye chakra, activating it, which is on your forehead, middle of your forehead, your eyes, helping them see beyond the scope of a human eyesight, by becoming futuristic, by making its way in your nose, where you're able to use it in its full sense, by brightening up our mouth, our teeth, which work as incisors, which help us chew, our tongue, our saliva, which help us assimilate, our ears. May we use them much more than we use them. May we hear much more than we say. And whatever we say out of our beautiful mouth, which is just brightened up, may they be words of wisdom. May we be energetic like never before, but yet profound. Let this beautiful white light wash over your internal being, coming to your neck, and feel your esophagus brightening up. This very food pipe that takes food in your body, nourishes your body from inside. We're nourishing and washing our body right now with this beautiful light. This light is now in our shoulders. Feel it under your underarms, your forearms, your biceps, your elbows, your palms, which are hopefully open, fingers, thumb. Feel this beautiful white healing light wash over your spinal cord, adding so much of brightness, so much of strength in your spinal cord, so that it keeps you strong and tall. So truly our backbone has a back. Over our shoulder blades, over our sides, lower back, our hips, coming to our shoulder blades in the front, our chest area. This white light is washing over your lungs, helping you breathe as never before, keeping you in touch with your breath so much more often. This wonderful epicenter of our being, our heart, that's growing and multiplying in love and light every beautiful day, every moment, moment to moment. This white light has now reached your solar plexus chakra. Your navel, your sacral chakra, your root chakra, and is now also showing its light on your kidney, on your gallbladder, on your liver, on your stomach, on the intestines, large and small, on excretory organs. Each organ of yours is washed as if it's brightened, detoxed with this beautiful healing white light. And anything which was dark in energy has dissipated completely on the touch of this light. And feel this light traveling through your thighs, into your knees, in your calves, in your ankle, your heels, your feet, toe finger and nails. And now feel Mother Earth's grounding energy, the golden healing light, entering through your feet in your body. Again, the same route. All of your feet, all of your legs, she's coming so fast through your lower area, into your body, front and back, all sides, your beautiful arms, your neck. Now Mother Earth is helping you activate your throat chakra. May we speak absolute truth. May we value our words and speak from our heart. May we follow our heart. Each chakra of yours getting activated. And now this beautiful golden healing light is entering your face. And now imagine and see and visualize and feel this crisscross of light, golden white light, golden light and the white light coming together in all directions, frenzy from all directions. I am light. I am light. I am light. And now see this beautiful light exiting from every pore of your being. You have so much of light that now, no matter how much you have, you keep giving and you keep growing. See your aura increase and see yourself encompassed in a circle of light, a ball of light. And as you're giving out, emitting more of this light, the circle of light is increasing. See it increase from 1 feet to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 feet from the body, 7 feet, 8, 9. And now you are in this huge ball of light with the 18 feet circumference, radius of 9 feet. And this ball of light is so bright. Now, whoever comes in your aura is going to feel your light because you will be radiating it. And now, let's bless our homes, our loved ones living in our homes, our colonies, our colony members living in the colony, and feel this light increasing and increasing, like a bandwidth which is increasing. It's covered the full city where you live in, going to the parallel, to the perpendicular, to the neighboring cities, covering the region, covering full of Mother Earth, after covering our country, India. And now the entire earth, Mother Earth, is enveloped in this beautiful ball of light. Let's pray and wish for her ascension. She has been stuck in a negative energy because darkness has been holding us. It's time for all of us to activate our light and help her in her ascension by raising our consciousness and becoming the channels of clear, pure light. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And with this beautiful prayer, let's bless everyone with light. Put your hands in the blessing mudra. Bless, bless, and bless. In raising the consciousness of all beings. Wow, beautiful. And now, without energizing your hands, because they're full of energy and light, you can just keep them in your palms or keep blessing, and you can open your eyes to the magical morning. Beautiful. Beautiful. Love your beaming smiles, everyone, especially Pratimaji and Mridul and Madhuri. Thank you for sharing your smiles. Lovely. And again, back to our wonderful book. And today we'll discover a new section in this book by Nitya Shanti, namely The Unburdened, which I was guided to read only that session on a Sunday, Soulful Sunday. So the section number 3 is named A Deeper Playfulness. So all of us have an inner child. Some of you who have studied with me before, we have gone through Louise Hay's mirror work, which talked to us about our inner child. So there is this inner child sitting inside us. And that inner child needs to be activated on this beautiful Tuesday. So let's bring out our playfulness in life. The more fun, the more light we live our life, the more beautiful it's going to be. Chapter number 15. It says, what endures? The living flame dies in one exalted breath, one exhaled breath. The pregnant rain cloud dissolves to nothingness. The morning chime of the temple bell falls into the belly of a quiet afternoon. That lone boy, holding his mother's hands, turns the corner. The lane is desolate again. If witnessed by a man, a crow, a scratching dog, they remain an imprint, even if uncalled, and even if not, even if unrecalled, and even if not, if unseen, unheard, unfelt. Is there within this universe a remembrance? That too were a moment, an infinitesimal birth. That too, and that they too once were the stuff of this universe. If only a bubble that rose and collapsed into the infinite surface of being. So everything endures. This poem, as always, is by Nandini Sen Mehra. She is an author, a poet, and she's the one who's written all these poems in Nitya's book. And how Nandini weaves these words so beautifully that everything endures. Even from what we are born, what we are made as human beings, was once a part of this universe as nothingness. It was just energy, then manifested into maybe a rose, maybe a man, a crow, a scratching dog, anything. Maybe even a temple bell that has a beautiful chime every morning, even the clouds. So everything endures. Nothing is finishing. It's infinite. It's infinite light that just stays and shines bright, either in a form or without form. Today's chapter is about a reflection on death. Can we die to who we think we are? A Zen master was once asked, what happens after we die? He replied, I don't know. You don't know? You're a famous Zen master. How can you not know? He smiled and said, yes, but not a dead one. Ajahn Chah, one of my teachers, said that for someone who has never contemplated death, life is very confusing. We see that in today's world as well, there's a lot of anxiety and dread. As we create some space to contemplate the only certainty there is, death, we begin to value each day as precious and each meeting as a holy encounter. Isn't that so profound and deep? Obviously coming from one of our professors and Zen masters. One way to know the maturity of a spiritual practice is by how taken aback or shocked we are when we hear that someone has passed on. Go through a newspaper, death is all around. And yet when someone we know dies, there can be a sense of disbelief. Yes, yet this is the way it is. The Buddha encourages us to reflect on these 5 things every day. I am subject to old age. I am subject to disease. I am subject to death. All that is mine, beloved, and pleasing will become otherwise. I am heir to my actions and intentions. This way of thinking is grounding and reminds us not to take anything for granted. It's so wonderful. If every day is counted as a day which is full of blessings, and if we start living every day as the last day of our life, how meaningful our life would become. If today is my last day on life, on Mother Earth, in my house, in my life, will I be taken aback, or will I go into small little nuances of scolding the staff or fretting over something not kept correctly or something not done correctly? Will those things become mundane or meaningful? Being most of us are women here. Women are so centered about their houses. But if that is the last day, would you fret over it? Or would you just give love to your staff, to your children, to your parents, to your partners, to everyone who comes in contact with us? And wouldn't that day be important to probably chant and go into a deeper being and give a prayer of gratitude? And if these beautiful philosophy is followed, for Buddha's teachings are followed, and if you reflect on them every day, that yes, everything ages, cells in my body are dying every minute, every moment to moment, I'm rebirthing. Newness is coming in me. And every moment to moment, I'm dying. A part of me is dying and a part of me is formed. That's happening within me. And it's going to happen in the outer me as well. That dis-ease, I may not be easy with something, that's normal. That ultimately, this human body is something which will become stardust, it will become nothing, Panchbhut back again. And jo mera hai, which I love, when I'm no longer there, will not be there for me because I'm not there. And every action that I take, I know I am answerable to it, the result. And every intention that I make, I am answerable to that result of that intention, that manifestation of the intention. If we start thinking about this every morning, would we ever fly away too high? Would we ever talk about I, me, and am? I, so and so, I, so and so. So much of I, me, and am happens, right? Ego. And even a small child has ego after he gets a little conscious. So it's not like, so accepting the ego is fine because we can't say, I'm not egoist. Oh, that's absolute, that's not a truth. But how egoist are we? We'd start curbing that the minute we center, balance, align ourselves in these beautiful truths of life. It was significant learning for me to realize that we don't lose anyone, we return them. Wow. This is because losing implies that we own them. Wow. Returning is based on the reality that all meetings end in partings. So profound. Everything and everyone is borrowed, including the elements in our body, only to be returned in due course. Wow. अगर जिसके लिए मैं गुमान करती हूँ कि मेरा है, मेरा है, मेरा है, और एक्चुअली में वो मेरा है ही नहीं, सो कहाँ से सेल्फिश होंगे? कहाँ से ईगो आएगी? जब हम विपश्यना में जाते हैं, सो हम कुछ भी पैसा नहीं देते. 10-11 दिन के शिविर में रहने जाते हैं. And not a penny to be paid. So that we are in a mode of gratitude that somebody has paid for my teachings, my learning, my elevation, my ascension. And जब इस भाव से हम वापस निकलते हैं कि आप किसी का दिया हुआ अन्न ले रहे हैं, पानी ले रहे हैं, प्राण ले रहे हैं, लाइफ ले रहे हैं, हमारी ईगो खत्म हो जाती है उन 11 दिनों में। फिर अब जब निकलते हैं, आप फिर देते हैं वो चैनल ऑफ ब्लेसिंग चालू रखने के लिए। इसी तरीके से हमारी लाइफ आज एक नया पर्सपेक्टिव मिला, राइट? कि जो जिस 5 एलिमेंट से मैं बनी हूँ, वो भी तो मदर अर्थ का है, उससे आया था उसको जाएगा। जब मेरा है ही नहीं तो किस बात का गुमान कि मैं कर रहा हूं, मैं कर रही हूँ। आई एम अ चैनल ऑफ वट एवर इज हैपनिंग, आई एम अ mere channel. When we start saying that, we are giving away our unacquired ego that has come into us and made us a resident. We have rented out our body space, our mind space to that ego, that virtue called ego. With somebody, it's not a virtue any which ways. My bad. Some of us imagine that we will die 20, 30, 40 years from now. But what if we knew that we were going to die 6 months from now? What if we knew that we had just 6 weeks or 6 days? What about today? What would happen? Something would definitely shift. We would not take things for granted in the same way. There would be a radical shift in the way we perceive our own body. This is because death contemplation is also a kind of life contemplation. Life and death are inextricably connected. That shift is something we all need to shift our consciousness in. At the moment, we have made our bodies places to be a place to be rented to. So what are we renting it to? The extra weight, the physical body weight, which is measured in pounds or kilos, extra attitude of ego, anything which is not in the light side, which is in the dark side, is something we have rented our body space into. And they are very comfortable living here, spreading their darkness. But if you're light, right now you did the light meditation, but if you're light, how can you allow the dark elements to stay in your body? So now I want everyone to close their eyes. I request everyone to close their eyes. Let's tune inwards and scan our bodies. What is it that we find which is an extra burden on it? Maybe you have extra additional weight, could be a kilo or two, or could be 40 or 30, 40 kilos. Do you really truly want it? You may say you don't want it, but you've become so attached to it. You can't lose it because you have found it with love. Love for some kind of a fear. And this weight is acting as a protection layer for you because you've asked to protect it. Because you are fearing. Imagine yourself feeling cold, shivering. And imagine your parent or your loved one coming and wrapping you in a warm blanket, and then just see your body, how beautifully it becomes warm, and your teeth stop clattering. You were shivering, so you're given the blanket. You were fearful, so you've been given the blanket of this weight, this additional weight. And now you're feeling cozy and warm in it. You may hate it, you may dislike it, but it's your asking. So can you talk to the weight and ask it to go, to release it? Because it had leased your body. When you let go, there's still an option for it to come back to you. But when you release and the lease is over, you can ask the weight that, okay, I leased my body out to you for 10, 12 years or how many ever years. Now I release you from this lease and I simply want you to find another place where you can dwell in with love. And I thank you for protecting me all this while. But now I'm safe, liberated, guarded, protected, free. And I release you, never to be found again. And now, can you again activate your whirlpool in your navel? And whatever you have released, it is melting, burning, churning in your body. And this weight is physical manifestation of all the burdens that you're carrying, which could be anxiety, depression, fear of losing someone, any kind of fear of death. All this is acquired and accumulated in your body as physical weight. And now it's burning, churning, and dissolving, burning, churning, and melting. And this melted weight is leaving your body through your whirlpool that you have just activated in your navel. Your gut is a passage for all this unacquired burden to leave you. If you have dis-ease in your body, it's also coming to you as weight somewhere. Release that. Release the responsibilities that you think you have to complete because you're responsible. Release that. Because when you love someone, you will do something effortlessly. It will not be a responsibility. It will be something that will be an act of love, compassion, kindness. So release the responsibility, which is coming into your body as aches and pains. Release the mental pressure, because when you love, there's no pressure. When you love, there is no bondage. Release all possible unacquired emotions. Maybe you were grieving about somebody you lost. It could be somebody, a dog, an animal that you lost. It could be somebody loved you that you lost. It could be something that you loved that you lost. Release the grief. You have grieved enough. And the grief is also staying in your body as aches and pains or as weight, physical weight. So release any physical discomfort and get comfortable and see the churning, burning, and melting of all the unacquired burden that you've been carrying. And let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Just release. Just release. And now at the count of 5, slowly come back to yourselves. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eyes bright open. And thank your body, all the energies, for making you so much more light. When you are the light that shines bright, you're also light in your nature, in your energy. When you say, I am light, I am light, I am light, it's also that you are light, which is radiating out, and you're light in your energy. And how do we become light in energy? By discovering the joys of life. And how do we become joyful? By becoming playful. Today's chapter is about playfulness. So let's integrate this playfulness in our life. So I hope you're feeling well and light. I am, for sure. And I thank you all for sharing your space with me and making me feel so light. Really grateful. Atma Namaste. The last words spoken by the Buddha were Vyadhama, Sankhara, Apamedana, Sambadita. All conditioned states are subject to decay. Be diligent in your practice. This teaching encourages us to understand impermanence, which is the main realization that cuts through the fear of death. We're not permanent here, right? In this life, I'm a Sonia Room Mitra, I'm a Pratima Bansal, I'm Mridul, I'm a Madhuri. Am I permanent? No. Am I exactly who I am a day ago? I have taken out crap. I have gone to piddle. That has left me, right? Maybe I've sweated. Maybe I've taken a bath and the toxins have come out, which I can't see. But yeah, dirt has come out. Maybe. Am I the same? Are my hair the same? No. Nothing in life is permanent. Then why are we fearful? If I ask you all a question, you don't have to answer. You don't have to put on the chat box. What are you fearful of? ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या हो जाएगा? What will help you to become fearless? And 99.9% the answer will be detachment. मैं बहुत सोचती हूँ. I'm too attached. Can we open those knots and then see the love? Well, if I tell us, if I have a child and I tell my child, Beta, you must call me every day. I really miss you. Vis-a-vis, I call my child every day and say, hey, what happened? Is everything okay? Or I call him or her every other day, not every day. Is it such a big deal that I don't talk to him or her every day? So much of attachment. Can't I live and let live? This is a way to think. Why are we so attached? In a universe where everything is changing, change itself is the only constant and therefore the most reliable refuge. This is the opposite of what one would expect. The more completely one embraces death, the more peace arises, the more vibrant life becomes. Try this now with me. Assume you will die in the next minute. Nitya wants us to try this. So now you're going to die in a minute. Notice what this does to you, to how it alerts you and how vividly you experience everything. Just imagine that I am right now learning with you in this beautiful morning, and all of a sudden you see me dead on the screen. You don't see me, and then you're like, what happened? You call up Prashant or whoever. So Prachi is just lying on the table. And then my husband says she's not breathing. And now that Prachi could be you. Now, see the consciousness that when you have died, shit, what happened to me? I'm no longer alive. You've seen this in movies, right? You can't, the Seven Spiritual Laws by Khurshid Bhavnagri, in that her sons pass away and they're like, what happened? They were in an accident, they died. Happened to my brother when he died. He's like, what happened to me? I was in the hospital bed. I died. My mom, my wife, my sisters around me. What happened? I died. And I'm able to accept. And then the angel guardians come and say, hey, it's okay. You're in a shock. And then they help. And that's what's happening with you. And then you realize, I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I didn't do this because you're in a physical world, a human world. Oh, I didn't do this. I didn't close this account. I didn't tell about this. I didn't tell about this. Wow. But ab to kuch nahi ho sakta. So can we live with that consciousness? That every day is a gift to us. And every day when we close the day, which means when we are about to retire, there's nothing like ये किया होता तो अच्छा होता. अगर हम ऐसा करना लग जाएंगे तो हम एक भी दिन पूरा सो ही नहीं पाएंगे because to-do list इतनी लंबी हो जाएगी. That's when 80-20 formula comes in. Do what is important. The 20% which is important. Leave the rest. Do the best. The more completely one embraces death, the more peace arises, the more vibrant life comes. That is the truth. When we practice in this way, we may sometimes judge ourselves and feel we're not striving enough. However, I have met many meditators, many who are committed to living with awareness, and they share similar things. If they have a near death experience in that moment, looking into the face of death, their being is very serene. This reassures them that their self judgments are not always valid. Just look at your judgments, all of us, how much we judge ourselves. How much? उठते के साथ ही चेहरे पे दिखा सपोज आज उठे हम मेरे पे ब्रश करने गए और हमने एक बड़ा सा जिड देखा अरे ये क्या हो गया we look at our clothes check out our body check out our inches body shame ourselves ridicule ourselves maybe I'm not saying everyone does how am I looking or am I looking okay is my bindi okay or is my jewelry okay or is my shirt okay is my trouser okay am I looking fine judge because we want first to validate in our we want to validate ourselves and then the world of course we expect. The mind is a very poor evaluator of our progress. When we assume nothing is happening is usually when we're growing the most. Unknown to us, the roots of our practice are finding their deep into our being and transforming it in ways we may not fathom. In our society, we are overly attached to life and overly repulsed by death. An example of this is the insistence on putting people on life support. Sometimes an ailing individual knows that their time has come and they are willing to gracefully move on. On such an occasion, to forcibly extend their lives through artificial means is to resist what is. And this can put a huge strain on the individual, their family, and their caregivers. Sometimes they're ready to transition, but we are unable to let go. While there is value in preserving life, allowing for a graceful and dignified death also deserves loving attention. And you know, when I read this, I'm again unknowingly pulled back to the time when my father-in-law, after his chemotherapy, was put on a ventilator. And when I asked my husband, he's like, "Nahi, temporary dala hai. Papa couldn't breathe after surgery. He'll be fine." Because I got a call from somebody that Prem Babu is passing away. Tumne bataya nahi, tum jhoot bol rahe ho. And I'm like, mujhe pata hi nahi. And my husband can't accept that Papa is going. And I can't accept because he's so young. He's just 59 and a half. That day he's supposed to send his invites out for his 60th birthday back 6 months to go. And we're like, what is people talking? And we put him on life support. Obviously, it couldn't support him and he left. When my brother had to go, we flew him down from here, airlifted him from Delhi to Chennai. Jate bacha was in life support. That's the last the family saw of him. I didn't have the guts to even go and see him with that 100 million machines on his body. But we kept him striving, hoping to thrive for 15 days until the body decayed and it moved on. We can't let go. Why? Why are we so stuck? I know it sounds funny, but I have gone through this, losing my one parent, losing my one brother, one and only brother. But today I think if somebody has to go, let them go with love. Why the artificial support? Think about it. Will you want to be supported if such a case arises? So if not, tell your family about it. That if anytime this is to happen, I do not want to be in life support. Let my consciousness decide whether I want to exit or whether I want to be here. Don't strain yourself so much. Passing away is so much more smoother and lighter than the entire thing of going through the hospitals day in, day out and going through that distress. What if he or she leaves? Let that he or she leave. As we meditate, our identity becomes more transparent and there is greater access to beingness. There is a shift from personality to presence. This is a kind of mini death. Isn't that beautiful? हम आज क्या हैं और कल क्या हैं? That old us dies and the new one of us is born. We are dying. And we are being born. For a while, we die to who we think we are. Notice this. To be present to what you're reading and experiencing right now is to let go of everything you have ever read and experienced before, as well as all your projections about the future. This is small letting go. In this way, these practices slowly yet surely prepare us for death, the big letting go. Or The big release. Viktor Frankl, an Australian psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, recounted an incident in his book, Man's Search for Meaning. An elderly man who once came to meet shared that since his wife of 50 years had tragically passed away in a war bombing, he no longer had a will to live. Every day was so hard without her. Viktor Frankl asked him, suppose it was the other way around. Suppose he had died before her, would that have been better? The man was quiet for a while. He then responded, it would have been very hard for her because she was emotionally and practically dependent on me in so many ways. Actually, it would have been very hard, much harder for her. This realization immediately changed his whole perspective. All the while, he was only thinking about himself. He didn't consider how it would have been for her. So if one of them had to go, it was just as well that she went first. It didn't take away the fact that the wife had passed, yet it gave a new meaning to his reality. He left with a calmer, more composed heart. So beautiful, right? Nitya, about this beautiful teacher in my life, this master in my life called Byron Katie. And Byron Katie, in her book, namely A Mind at Home with Itself, says death has a terrible reputation, but it's only a rumor. How wonderful, right? So beautiful. Actually, death is beautiful. We've spoken about this before in Rhonda Byrne's book as well. That the soul is in a pinjara, just like bird ko hum lakar pinjare mein dal dete, bird or any animal, he or she can't be in the natural dwelling and is only in that little part. Otherwise, they can be all around the jungle or nature or wherever, or the ocean. You put fishes and everything in like a little aquarium, like in a pinjara. Similarly, our soul can wander the universe around, but right now it's in a physical body, trapped. For the soul, it's a release. It's a celebration. And yet we, the physical beings, we're like, I'm sorry for your loss. Yes, you're sorry for somebody's loss, but that person is no longer a person, is a soul, which it was initially. And it's just so beautifully elevated. Death has a terrible reputation, but it's only a rumor. It's not good advertising to talk about death. In my experience, however, it is fascinating that life is full of paradoxes. A large part of my own practice as a monk was contemplation of death. I felt there is great benefit in demystifying death and examining it more intimately. There are significant cultural differences in the way death is perceived and processed. Of course, when you lose a loved one, it is unsettling, but the understanding of death varies across traditions. For example, I lived in Thailand and I was amazed to find that there were a cremation. The villagers came together, popular music was played, soft drinks were served, and people would be chatting in a relaxed way. I discovered that in Thailand, there is a constant reflection on death. It is a part of the Buddhist culture, so perhaps that makes them more accepting of it. They're able to process the departure of the loved one in a calmer way. Undoubtedly, they too feel the pain of losing someone dear. Yet from what I witnessed, they are not as heavy and solemn about it. A lot of our reactions and behaviors are connected very intimately to the meaning we give to them. Grief and grieving. While natural, is also a culturally learned response. So this is something I don't think many of us knew about, right? And this is how in Thailand it is. Scotchy, of course, knows she's from Thailand herself. They celebrate death. It's casual. There's music. There's a good send-off. What we define as me is usually the body and mind, but this me is changing all the time. Anything that we are aware of, Madhuri, are you doing something? There's a lot of movement. Are you doing something? Okay, I would request you, I mean, I know you probably have to do it. It's fine. It's better than hearing and doing your stuff. But if you hear this, maybe it'll be just better. But otherwise, we want to continue. I just saw you, so I asked. So, sorry. All right. So, I mean, I want to come back to the grief and grieving bit. So whenever you grieve, or when you cry on, say, if you see TV or something on OTT or some screen or somebody and you cry, you'll always realize that you are putting yourself in the shoes of the person who has lost. What if you lose your loved one? How would it be? And then you start crying. मालूम भी नहीं पड़ता, इतना resonate कर लेते हैं. Next time when you grieve, please be tuned in and see, are you really grieving? Anything that we are aware of, that we experience or perceive is not ourselves. It's a temporary story that we made in our mind. We tend to misidentify ourselves with our thoughts and feelings and sensory experiences. The reality is that these things are arising, passing, and changing constantly. That's why they say everything passes, this too shall pass. चीजें आती हैं, pass होती हैं, change होती हैं. That's the truth of life. How can something which is constantly in flux be considered as a stable and enduring me? So the process of inquiry is a process first of negation. I'm not this chair because I'm aware of this chair. I'm not this hand, I'm aware of this hand. I'm not these feelings because I'm aware of these feelings. It is the same with thoughts and everything else. In the end, what we are left with is undefinable, indescribable, and thereby not subject to birth and death. We touch our essence in this way, and this essence reveals itself to be empty of all attributes and thereby capable of freely and fluidly containing all polarities of existence. जो हम feel करते हैं is just momentary, is of that thing, about the thing. जो बच जाता है उसको हम define ही नहीं कर सकते, describe ही नहीं कर सकते. ना death है, ना birth है. What we are is limitless. What we are is free flow. And yet there are polarities, which is true. Light hai to dark bhi hai. That's true. You can't just have only light and not dark. Dark hai to light activity ke dark ko khatam karegi na. Dark fir aayega to light usko fir khatam karegi. Simultaneously, I'm revealed to be nothing and everything and something. In this triple recognition of being nothing, everything, and something, in this triple recognition, there is a peace and freedom that is not limited in any way. This is what frees us from the fundamental fear of death. Now, there may be a habit of personality that clings to form, feelings, and identities, but it can't overwhelm us anymore. A foundation is clear and unobstructed. I have had the opportunity to bear witness to very conscious deaths. None of us know how we are going to die. And my understanding is that we can't die because whatever will die will not be us in a larger sense. In the meantime, let us live excellently, love excellently, and let us depart excellently. Let all of it be done playfully, joyfully, and with a sense of humor. There are ways to help us prepare. In the way of daily practices, embracing our own morality and living each moment as if it were our last. So Carpe Diem, seize the moment, live the moment. And now let's again close our eyes. Let's hear this practice which Nitya has for all of us and meditate on it. Back straight. Consciously breathing in and breathing out, flowing with our breath, seeing the beautiful rise and fall of our chest, of our stomach, and enjoying this beautiful breath, which is also coming and going. The practice that we will now practice is a practice that Nitya first learned in Lumbini, where the Buddha was born. It's a powerful invitation for letting go. We begin with the assumption that we know our life is about to end. We have 10 minutes left in this lifetime. Since we know that we have only 10 minutes left, a tremendous process of letting go begins. A tremendous process of putting things down begins. There is no need to hold on to stuff anymore. It's time to really let go. All your jewels, all your gems, all your favorite stuff, all your brands, anything and everything. Now they're meaningless because you have no more time or life to enjoy them. Are they really important? Tremendous alertness comes. In this practice, use the phrase, I am dying to, or I let go of. Some examples being, I am dying to all the ways that I have judged myself and others. I am dying to my fear and hesitation around death. I choose to enter whatever comes willingly. I'm dying to any regret. I'm dying to any unfinished business. I'm dying to any lingering sense of incompleteness. I'm dying to all of this. I am completely letting it go. I am releasing. Think of whatever you're dying to and say it, whether in your mind or spoken out loud. And whatever the first few have come there enough, because you can continue this forever and the 10 minutes will be gone. So let's just come back now. Understand that these next 2 minutes or so, our physical death is coming. Our complete death is coming. It's knocking. As we are Indians, you may just see that Kal Guru being here, ready to take you. The death god. He's come on his bull with his horns. So accelerate this process of letting go and merge into your own essence and rest there for a bit. Let go completely. Keep practicing the state of being that you would like to have as you approach death. Practice a state of being now. Now, nothing matters, no loved ones, no loved things, nothing matters. You have let go of everything because now you're embracing and ready for next new journey. Practice the state of being in the now. Allow yourself to merge into the great unknown, fully trusting, fully letting go. For a moment, forget everything. As it turns out, it was not actually death. You still have a life to live. It was just a near-death experience. But was it powerful? Have we ever experienced, willingly experienced, wanting to embrace death? It's very therapeutic. It's very enlivening. It's very enriching. And now use the word, the phrase, I now choose. Since death has not yet come and there is still life, still time. Now let the nudges and grudges and whispers of existence find you. Complete the sentence. The new reality I'm stepping into is, and take this time and write it. Even though your eyes are open, or you may have not opened, the new reality I'm stepping into is, I would say, conscious living. The one I've learned from Nitya. It's beautiful. You can choose what your heart desires. How do we want to live this beautiful life of ours? That's $1 million question. And while we're talking about letting go and unburdening, and it's very important to physically declutter. Number 7 tip by Fumio Sasaki in Goodbye Things is about discard it even if it sparks joy. So right now we've learned that joyful living is important, right? And this is another perspective. If it gives me joy, I should discard it. अभी क्या हुआ, near death experience हुआ ना, जो भी joy दे रहा था नहीं काम आया ना. Those beautiful brands, those beautiful whatever, nothing worked. Ultimately, what thought of my loved ones? Did you think about them? Or did you think about your brands or your things or your material possessions? And my dear co-learners, my dear co-seekers, we are all seeking joy and truth in our life, right? We are, or whatever age we are, from 20s to 70s. Ultimately, what do we want in life? Peace and love and joy, right? Of course, material stuff will come. You will want success, prosperity, and abundance, and that everything. Spiritual people get that most. If you've decided to become a minimalist, there will come a time when you have to part with an item or two that sparks joy. For me, I have a deep affection for Croatia and a cross that I bought during a trip there, which was definitely something that made my heart dance. It was a ceramic cross in a scarlet color adorned with an intricate design crafted by hand. The colors, the smooth texture, the comfortable weight, I loved everything about it. I was told that it had been made by a local artist, and more than anything, the sense of coming across it on a street in a foreign country and not at a souvenir shop made it all the more precious to me. The cross was something that sparked my joy even when I parted with it. Still, I'm really glad I worked up the courage to say goodbye to it. Since then, I no longer spend time looking for souvenirs when I travel. I follow the example of Snufkin, one of the characters from Tove Janssen's Moomin, and only look at souvenirs no matter how tempting they are. This has allowed me to focus more on the journey itself. And what is life if not a journey? What is life if not a journey? Be brave and let go of things that spark joy. What you gain can be tremendous. I'll again come back to the time when, of course, not the Gen Z, not the college-going students, the other ones who are people who are born in, any time before 1900s, 1980s, 1990s. We have seen a culture of no laptops, no mobiles, right? No smart cameras. Did we picture every single thing? Unlike today, you'll even picture every single thing. When my brother left my brother was fully sick in the ICU, he clicked a picture of his fresh phlegm and said, "Just see my fresh phlegm." He was very humorous. Like, God, you can't show us his phlegm. But that phlegm gave us an idea that he had pneumonia. But back then, how did we gauge things? In a beautiful mind. How many of us remember beautiful things from childhood because they are imprinted in our mind? And how many of us actually look at the gazillion pictures that we click now? And where are they? They're not even in albums. So why are we so stuck about capturing, putting on social media, putting on wherever, sharing with the people? What about the journey? So let's think about this. We've just had a near-death experience. What matters? Let's get enriched. It's very beautiful. And now we read a bit about the secret to health from this beautiful book by Rhonda Byrne, about the secret to love, health, and money. In this, we are on section number 2 from a couple of days, which is all about health. And yesterday we were visualizing for ourselves. Today, let's tune into visualizing for others. So visualizing good health for others is also possible. Just like my friend Marcy did for her husband, if you want to help someone who's having problems with their health, you can visualize in your mind the person being strong, happy, and healthy. To do this effectively, create a scene in your mind with you and the person and put as much detail into the scene as possible. Imagine the words you're both saying and see the person doing things that only a happy and healthy person can do. Play that scene over and over and over again and feel your visualization deeply as though you're really living it. Although ultimately the person is creating their own life, this process can help them immeasurably if they want to be well again. It is even more powerful if you can encourage them to join you in visualizing together. So I've said this many a times, learned from so many teachers and said this. Visualizing really works if your intentions match. Now, if I want to make Rishi well, and I gave him affirmations, बच्चा तू अपने ICU में सामने दिखले, इसको chant करते रहे, you know, तेरा बहुत जल्दी recovery होएगी. And I'm sending him healing, and we're sending healers to his room, apart from doctors. But was he ready for that healing? No, he wanted to just let go. He'd lived what he had to live. He thought there was no love in his life. He just wanted to let go. I don't think he was ready to let go his life, but he didn't want to do all this chanting, the affirmations. So will that work for him? I can see him healthy, wealthy, wise, and every Rakhi, every Dashera, seeing the tikas happening and, you know, him being on the path of the girls. So whatever. I can visualize no matter how much, because it's my heart, my mind, I can do what I want. But is he in tune with it? But if he is in tune with it, and if he can be a part of my visualization as he and me, power. 1 + 1 is equal to 11, not 2. So let's talk about the story of visualizing together by Rhonda Byrne. A young mother experienced this for herself when a partner was undertaking some home renovations and accidentally severed 3 of his fingers. The surgeon was reluctant to attempt reattachment as the nerve damage was extreme. Given that the man worked with his hands, this was essential as a career-ending prognosis. The couple insisted the surgeon do his best to reattach his fingers. However, the man was given little chance of the fingers healing and much less of them fully recovering. But the woman could hear no such negativity as she was set about imagining her partner's hand completely healed and fully functional. Now, the husband has severed his own fingers. She can see it, but she can visualize that he's fully healed. Now, together with her partner, their favorite dual visualization featured the 2 of them riding his Harley Davidson motorbike with his hand working the throttle with perfect dexterity. 3 days after the surgery, the bandages were removed and the doctors were astonished by how well the hand had healed. By this stage, even the surgeon was starting to believe the man would make a full recovery. Indeed, he was back to work within 6 weeks. And at 3 months, an X-ray revealed that missing bone fragments had regrown. He was practically as good as new. And perhaps most importantly, he was able to work the throttle on his Harley Davidson to take him and his partner riding once again. Let's be grateful for our hands and fingers. How much they work, how much they move. कभी पेन लिख रहे हैं, कभी ब्रश पकड़ रहे हैं, कभी कुछ पकड़ रहे हैं. अगर ये hands, fingers नहीं हो, fracture हो जाए तो कैसा होगा? So let's close our eyes and be grateful for these beautiful hands and these beautiful fingers. You want to flex them, you can. You want to move them, you can. For parents, the ultimate challenge can be when their child's health appears to be in danger. But whatever secret practices we can use to heal ourselves, we can also use for our children. While you can't override anyone else's experience if their journey is meant to take a different path, children are very receptive to positive thoughts and feelings. Again, a story. One man wrote to us with a powerful story about the premature birth of his baby niece. When his sister-in-law fell seriously ill 7 months into pregnancy, the doctor insisted that they induce labor immediately. The baby was given very little chance of survival. In fact, the situation was so dire, the doctor was asking whether to prioritize the life of the mother or the baby. That's when this man put his visualizing skills to the test. He imagined holding the baby while saying, "Thank you for this perfect health of both mama and child." mother and child. He repeated this mantra over and over again until his niece was delivered, and the doctor assured them that they were out of woods for now. Being 2 months premature, the baby was immediately placed in intensive care. Doctors were still a little pessimistic about her chance of surviving, but this family refused to take on any negativity. Instead of discussing the baby's condition, they went out and brought her baby clothes, and they spent their time arguing over who she most resembled. Despite all the tubes and wires and medical apparatus connected to the tiny baby, every night before bed, her uncle continued to visualize himself playing with his niece, holding her, and most importantly, seeing her in perfect health. 6 weeks later, the family was able to take her home, and she had fully recovered and was as healthy as any other newborn baby. Let's be grateful for all healthy families. Let's be grateful for all the parents, all the loved ones, holding their dear ones close at heart, and be gifted with the gift of life and health of their loved ones. Amen. So it is. Wonderful. So today, it's more about life and death. We began with the Nitya's book about reflection on death, and we ended our session with Rhonda Byrne's story about life and death, when somebody is almost not there and yet thrives and survives. So today I'm guided to meditate about the same. So let's close our eyes. Let's ask the universe to center, balance, and align us. As you're breathing in and breathing out, just a soft reminder that what comes must go. Nothing is impermanent and nothing is permanent, but truly it is impermanent, whether we accept or whether we don't. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. What we need to align ourselves is with acceptation, with acceptance, without expectation. To begin to flow joyously in this wonderful life and to do what our heart wants us to do, to indulge in basic, beautiful acts of love and kindness, to leap, to jump, to celebrate happiness, to smile, to laugh, to share our love. Let's lighten up our energies by asking the universe to help us lighten up, brighten up. Feel the presence of this joy, this happiness that you have inside you right now. And let's ask the cosmic guidance for helping us become detached. If there are no bondages, if there's nothing weighing us down, how wonderful will it be to live and let live? To stop labeling, to stop judging, because nothing is permanent. Our body is the most beautiful reminder of impermanence. Every moment, things are changing, situations are changing, our cells are dying, they are being born. Our breath is coming, our breath is going. Our heart is beating, no beats are the same. Our pulse is beating and it's beating and it's beating. Every microsecond, these thousands of kilometers of blood vessels, these channels, these veins are taking blood in our body from one place to another. A detoxification process is happening within the body, with the governed cells, the cluster of cells healing, repairing. No wonder every morning when we wake up, we may have a foul smell, which means it's time to detox. The body has detox and it's time to just brush. Or you want to wake up to go to the loo and release crap. Toxins are being flushed out. You may have some earwax or eye wax or something in your nose. It's the body's way of detoxing, letting go, because it no longer serves a purpose. So can we release this humdrum world of I, me, and am and start practicing oneness, infinite oneness? When we are one, what is this mera tera? Yours or mine? Can we learn to flow with life? Celebrate every moment. Can we let go and release of all the unrequired things in our life, especially as materialistic objects? Because they ultimately have an effect on our spiritual being. The more we declutter the outer world, the more we declutter the inner world, because those attachments are done and dusted. The more we celebrate life with what we have, then something is everything. Then we always have enough. Are we too attached to our goals and ambitions? Or are we inclined and guided and guarded from our heart to follow a purpose? Is our intention materialistic gain, or is our intention following our heart? Then for once, can we let this facade of money, money, money just leave us for a while and follow heart, 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 and then see where we are in some time from now? In Bhagavad Gita, my guru always would say, अगर मन को छोड़ के दिल की बात सुनो और लाइफ में एक लक्ष्य बांध लो, तो लक्ष्मी जी अपने आप आ जाती हैं. So can we follow our heart, knowing that whatever our heart is leading us is to a place of joy? And this joyfully, this beautiful act of love and kindness automatically will give us what we are meant to get and live a wonderful life. Think of the best and leave the rest. Can we let go? Can we release? Can we lighten? Can we unburden? Can we delight in who we are and not in the stories of who we think we are? So much of I, me, and am, my family, my loved ones, my property, or my accessories, or my assets, or my body, my nature, my clothes. I am doing this. And can we turn to say, I flow with life. Whatever comes my way, I embrace it and I move with love and light. And then all these extra earthly possessions would be something that we'd enjoy, but without giving too much of importance to. What's meant to come will come. But can we feel and embrace and integrate that shift within us? And this beautiful, powerful awakening of us. Let's wake up and delight to a beautiful world. Let's bow our heads and hands in gratitude once again. and request all the divine beings to always keep us on this path of love and light, where we allow our love to expand, let our virtues expand, being love and light, living in God's heightened terror. God, in my teacher's language, Nitya's language, is grand overall design. And let's just let the universe design our lives. Let's just flow with life. And let's see this beautiful canvas of our life come up with beautiful, vibrant colors, full of love, full of light. And let's spread this joy of this beautiful blessing with the world. Love, 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 everywhere, everywhere. May you all be soaked in love and light. Today is Tuesday, Mangalvar. I just feel like saying Sabka Mangal. Tera Mangal, Mera Mangal, Sabka Mangal hove re. Chaudesha pe Sabka Mangal, Sabka Mangal hove re. Tera Mangal, Mera Mangal, Sabka Mangal hove. Blessings for all of you. Lots of love, lots of love, lots of love. To you, Ritu, to Usha ji, Jyoti, Bhavna, Nitin, Madhuri, Mridul, Pratima ji, Kalpana, Kanika, Chandani, and everyone whose ever cameras are off, and everyone who tunes in, or who doesn't even tune in. Let our blessings reach far and wide, far and wide. Thank you. If anybody has any sharing, please let me know. Monday Nitin shared. If anybody wants to share anything, you just had a meditation with Nitya on past life, past near-death experience. So if anybody has anything to share, you want to come on spotlight, you can. If you don't want to, no pressure at all. So if anybody wants, you can raise your hand, like physically or in the emotion world, whatever. So I see everyone's had a nice morning of beginning and ending. So it's all right. All right. So I'm going to share my screen for the thought of the day. All right. Okay. Here we are, where we began our morning. All right. So we've been concentrating about health, and on the 65th day, the thought of the day is the secret of radiant health and well-being is being open and receptive to life and welcoming everything, knowing we trust the process. I see a beautiful smiles on all of your faces, and it just is nice. I know when we embrace a spiritual journey, I began very lighter stuff, and now that we are pretty much across the midway, I think we can get deeper and maybe more joyous. So stuff is coming automatically for all of us. So lots of love and light to you. Have a super blessed Tuesday. And let's see each other tomorrow morning with yet another session of going inwards. Lots of love to everyone. Thank you for making my